Welcome to Solosaurus, a podcast about one-player board and card games and giant thunder lizards. Solosaurus is sponsored by Game Castle, where the games are great and the memories are even better. Visit them at shop.gamecastle.com, that's castle with a K, and enter Solosaurus10 for 10% off your order, or click the link in the description. And now, here's your host, stomping through the underbrush, Michael Eckenfels.
You are a gunslinger who has been living a hazy existence. Your brief time in this world has been mostly spent on the outside of the law, killing, stealing, carousing with undesirables, living a dangerous life full of excess and violence. Recently, you feel like life might have more to offer. You know this way of life will not last and are now looking to maybe put your wild ways away, buy a ranch, and settle into obscurity. You determined you need $300 and are willing to get it by any means you feel necessary. The Wild West isn't a place for the faint of heart. You will encounter many dangers in your travels, dangers that could take your life. There is also the law that is lurking, waiting in the wind for you to make the wrong move and have you locked away to rot in a cell or even shot dead where you stand. So is the introduction to a game called The Drifter. The Drifter is something you can find on Drive-Thru RPG. It is a game that was created by a gentleman named Ken Kennedy and graphic design done by somebody named Melissa Molenkamp-Vahalik. Apologize if I've just destroyed your name there. There's a Facebook group for it. There's a Board Game Geek group for it. Again, it's called The Drifter, a Wild West adventure. And you may be familiar with it already, maybe not, because it's a spiritual successor, well, I should say precursor, because it's spiritual, prequel, I should say. I don't know if it's a prequel necessarily that it's tied together story-wise, but it's a game called Barbarian Prince, which came out in, 1981 by a game company called Dwarf Star Games. These guys did all kinds of fantastic stuff back in the day. Games like Outpost Gamma and Star Smuggler and, there are so many others. War game type games, but also solo type of games. And Barbarian Prince was like this amazing paragraph-driven adventure. One of the first to ever come out, and it mesmerized me, young me, way back in the day when I first played it. And actually, I'm lucky to have a physical copy of that game now. But the interesting thing to note about the Dwarf Star period is that Dwarf Star has all of its content free to download. So if you go to their website, you can download it for print and play purposes. If that's your bag, go for it. It's not mine. I tried it once, and I actually did print and play a version of it. That was awful. I'm terrible at it, but it was just to show you how motivated I was to play it again. I did that. But the copy I have is actually the old physical copy of the game, which is fantastic. But this is very much based on that. It's very random, very paragraph driven, very die roll determining kind of factor to it, but it's very much a narrative generator. So you might think there's not a lot of good choices to make. There are actually quite a few you make during the game. A lot of dice you roll along the way as well. And speaking of dice, I have a fantastic little product here. I actually have a couple of them, but this one is by a company called Money Grubbers, MUNNYGRUBBERS. They have a website, and they also have a page on Amazon, which is how I got a copy of this little thing. It's actually, they're little bullet dice, and they're not tiny, they're not made of metal, they're plastic, so they've got a little bit of heft to them, but not a lot like a metal die would. And they come in this container that's like a 6-shooter cylinder. It's really cool, and they're polyhedral. So there is a, for this game you need a 10-sided, a 4-sided, and a 6-sided, and I have all of those out here, but this little Money Grubber's case has a 100-sided and 8, a 12, and a 20 if you need them. If you're playing an Old West themed game, I highly recommend these. These are just really cool. The set that I have that are metal are really cool. It's a smaller cylinder. Those dice are very heavy, and they're 6-sided though, so they're not polyhedral. That's one thing I love about these being polyhedral. Perfect for this game. Probably would work well with Shadows of Brimstone as well, or any Wild West themed type game. So these are the ones I'm going to use. I thought I had a dice tray. I cannot find it for the life of me. I have plenty of dice towers, but I think these are too big to fit in a dice tower, or at least a normal 20mm sized dice tower. So I will be probably clattering them on my desk, and I'll try to work with the sound if they get too obnoxious to make sure I don't overwhelm you with that. So intro aside, as you can get from that experience, we are a gunslinger in the Old West, and we are going to adventure our way through this game and try to get $300. That's unspent dollars. So if I get 100 and I spend 50, and then I get another 200, that doesn't mean I've won. I'm still down 50 because I spent it. I need to have 300 unspent dollars on me. And we're going to see how much we have to start with here going into this game, because we're going to go through this character creation process together so you can see how this all works along with me. I have not played it yet, so I don't want any spoilers. I wanted my reactions to be genuine. I have read through the rules, so I am familiar with that a little bit, but not entirely. So we're still going to have fun doing this together, I think. I'm going to be playing this in Photoshop. I have everything set up there. It's a print and play game, though. I don't imagine it'd be that difficult to set up. You just need to print it, and or at least the sheets. You can play it on the PDF, which you can do electronically on a phone or a tablet or your computer, which is what I'm doing. However you do it, I think it's a fun little game, and I think it's going to be a good time. Well, we'll see. I might die within the first encounter, which can happen. I noticed. I did go through a couple of the encounters just to see. All right, so let's start by talking about character creation. There's a wound level, which can go from no wound up to dead. And there's 5 levels in between. So there's no wound, light, medium, heavy, debilitating, and dead. And on the tracking sheet you have to keep track of your character, you use a token to keep track of your wound level. You start with the wound level of no wound. So let me go to that. And yep, it's on no wound, so we are good there. Wound level damage compounds on itself, so if you have a light wound and receive a medium wound, you would now have a heavy wound. If you have a heavy wound and receive a light wound, you would now have a debilitating wound, so on and on it goes. If you reach the unfortunate wound level of dead, you immediately lose the game. Also, you have a finesse skill that drops depending on your wound level, so -1 for a medium, -2 for a heavy, -3 for debilitating. Let's look at finesse. This represents all of your character's physical skills, and you start with a finesse skill of 4. So let me mark that. Don't see it. Where would it be? Oh, I see. I was totally missing it. I thought finesse was a separate level, but it's not. It's on your wound chart because it's tied to what your wound level is. Being no wound, it starts with a 4. So perfect. Okay, we're good. All right, next comes Hunch, which represents your character's mental skills. So I roll a d4. I'm excited. I get to roll my d4 bullet die and see what this is. So it can be from a 1 to a 4. I'm a little scared. It is a 3. So I think I will take 3 for Hunch. Could be worse. Could be 1 better, but hey, we'll take 3. All right, next is Karma. The universal balance. Karma represents your character's amount of luck. You start with 2 karma points. So I'll move my token onto the 2. Use this token to keep track of on your tracking sheet. Your character can have no less than 0 and no more than 4 karma. Any karma points you have can be spent to re-roll a combat table roll, either your own or one for a partner who is like a henchman or a companion, or that of an opponent as well, or any skill test, but you must keep the second result. Some events will fluctuate your karma points. No other character in the game can have a karma skill, so cool. All right, next, Bounty Suit. So this indicates how wanted I am by the law, or how wanted we are by the law. The higher the bounty suit, the higher the price on your head. Now there's 5 total. The lowest is marked with an X. The other 4 are marked by suits of cards, so card suits. The lowest is clubs, then it goes diamonds, hearts, and then finally spades, which is the highest. So now I roll a d4 to see what my starting bounty suit is, and then place a token to mark that. It is a 2, so that's kind of rough, but I'll take it, I guess. Actually, a 2 is... Oh, okay, it could be worse. Well, 2's diamond. That's not the greatest. 2 is diamond, which is the second level. 1, if I rolled a 1, it would be heart, which is way worse. And then clubs is a 3, which would be the best result. Actually, the higher you roll, the better, and I rolled a 2, so that's not great, but it could be worse. All right, we'll go with that, and we'll see how long we last in this world. All right, money tracker. Use to keep track of how much money you have. Go figure. Use tokens to keep track. Some characters you encounter along the way will have potential loot on them, or which would rather be indicated by what's called a loot suit, which is the same rating system as the bounty suit. So you go X at the lowest, then clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades. This determines which column you roll on under the loot table after defeating all opponents. After all opponents are defeated, you immediately get to roll and to determine if you find any money or items or so on. There is no limit to the amount of money you can carry. It is assumed that you have the appropriate satchel and saddle bags. Now roll a d10 on the loot table, table d1, under the X column, which is the lowest, of course, to determine if you start the game with any money. So let me find that result here. Here we go. Loot table. Let me get this into view here. Okay, now let's roll our 10-sided die. I am scared. A 7, which is $2. I have 2 whole dollars, but there's more, it says. Hold on 1 second. Let me mark this 2 whole dollars on my money. I am rich. Well, $2 was a lot in the Old West. Who knows? Who knows what we're capable of now? Oh, wait, there's more. I got to go back to that. There's more for roll again on the same suit. Okay, so I roll one more time, and it might result in nothing. Let's see what we get. That is a 4. That is $0. So, womp womp. Didn't get anything else. Well, if I rolled a 10, there would have been a chance to actually get a really cool item. Rolling higher, of course, means more money, but we did pretty good there to start with money because a result of 1 through 4 is 0. 5 through 6 is $1, 7 to 8 is 2, 9 is $4, and then a 10 is a Q result, which is queen for queen result, and then you would roll on the D2 loot table under the Q, which has a bunch of events. So I'm not going to go into there and find spoilers. Let's just move on. We'll be lucky to have $2 and call it good. Weapons. You begin the game with fists, which is rated as it's actually suit rated as well, and so it's an X, and a pistol, which is a diamond. And I think that is, yeah, here we go. It is on my, it is on my chart, so I'm marking those, making sure I remind myself that I have those. This represents, the suit represents how powerful the weapon is, so the fist being X, or one of the weakest, of course, and the diamond is not bad, but it's not great. It could be better. It also determines which suit column you roll under on the combat table whenever you're attacking with that weapon. You can have a maximum of 2 other weapons beyond what's already on the tracking sheet, fist and pistol, but none the same. So I can only have 1 pistol, I can only have 1 rifle, 1 rocket launcher. Just kidding, no rocket launchers. That I know of. I don't know. What kind of game is this? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's not there. All right. Equipment. This is where you record any equipment you discover, /purchase, /steal. Beautiful. Along the way, there is no limit to the number of items you can carry. It is assumed that between you and your horse, so that's cool, you start with a horse, you can handle the load. Don't know if you can lose the horse. Hopefully not. I don't want to even think about it. Okay. An event will specify if any items you find are to be recorded under your equipment. There's also a section for points of interest, which is where you record any irrelevant information in regards to points of interest located on the map, such as treasures, bounties, other locations. An event will specify what information to record for the point of interest. So there'll be usually a hex identification code and an event paragraph to turn to, basically, if you move into that hex. There's also a couple of sheets for opponents and for companions. It calls them partners, I think. What did I call them a second ago? I can't remember. Oh, well, I'll call them companions because that's usually what you think of as henchmen, companions, whatever. All right, so now we can go back and continue. You wake up on solid ground to a combination of a hazy, fragmented flashes of empty whiskey bottles, bloody chins, random saloons, echoes of pistol shots, and whooping at the night sky. You don't know where you are or how you got here, but you aren't too worried about it. This isn't the first time you have blacked out and ended up in God knows where. You just thank your lucky stars it isn't a jail cell. All right, now roll a d6 to determine which hex you start in on the map. That's a 2, so we're starting in 1816. Let me bring the map up. 1816, which is way out in the freaking swamps in the east part of the map here. Yeah, we're 3 hexes away from the nearest town. And we're going to be traveling for a while to get there. That's a shame. I'd hope we'd start in a town just right off the bat, but I guess we'll be walking away, or riding our horse, I should say. To continue the narrative, you gently groan, shake off your dusty hat, climb aboard your horse, and set off to seek your destiny in the Wild West. Choose an available action located in a section that's hyperlinked, which is one thing I like about this PDF is hyperlinked and connected, so you don't have to keep flipping or rolling your mouse cursor to try to find locations. Of course, if you have a printed copy, you can't do that. So we'll go to actions, and I'll read this or paraphrase it a little bit here. The Drifter is a realistic adventure game. You play the game in turns. 1 turn equals at least 1 full day. A turn is always made up of an action and at least 1 event from the event book. Each turn starts with you selecting an action, such as traveling to a new hex on the map. Depending on the action selected, you could be referred to a specific event or have to roll for a random event. After the event has been resolved, that is considered a turn, at least 1 full day. Some events will have you turn to another event. You would keep following events until no options remain. When no options remain, you then move on to the next day or turn, doing it all over again, choosing an action, resolving that action, encountering another event, and so on. Some actions will instruct you to go to a specific event in the event's booklet, and some actions have you roll for a random event. This will be specified in that actions rules. Regardless of what action you take, you will always encounter an event in the events book. A turn always consists of 1 action and 1 event. I like how it reinforces that, just to be sure. That was one thing I was wondering about, how that works exactly. Because I'm thinking of Barbarian Prince and I'm wanting to channel that, and I'm not seeing anything about having to eat or anything like that, having to hunt for food, which was a major pain in Barbarian Prince. You could go hunting and needed to eat, or you would lose a health every day that you didn't eat, that kind of thing. Really very realistic rule, but a pain game-wise. All right, continuing. All events in the events booklet are self-explanatory and refer to the main rules section that describes how they are resolved. So that's good. Those have hyperlinks in them as well, so you can go to them to determine what happens next. There are times when events will redirect you to another event. I think I mentioned that already in the previous paragraph. For some events, you can choose what you would like to do. When given a choice in a situation, imagine yourself acting out the event and select the resolution that seems most fitting to you. At the start of each turn or day, you select 1 action for yourself, which we've said. I like that it's repeating it, though. That's good. Any partners you may have will perform that action with you. Each action has separate rules. Possible actions include, and then it lists a whole bunch. So actions allowed in any hex, actions allowed on certain types of hexes, actions allowed only in combat. So I think the only real one I can do right now is travel, because what else are we going to do? We could sit here and try to heal, but we're not wounded. That's kind of silly, and we don't have the equipment for it, I don't think. All we have are our fists and our pistol. Part ways, which would be if we have a partner, which I guess we'll call our companions moving forward. Partner, I was right earlier. Then there's some events you can only do in certain types of texts, such as a point of interest or a town, which we're 3 hexes away from, and it's probably going to be where I'm going to want to move to, or flee to attempt to escape combat. I think we'll just go with travel for right now, so we'll click on that hyperlink. Move your token to any adjacent hex of your choice. Let's do that. The town hex that I want to go to is 2 hexes up and 1 to the northwest, to the upper left. So I'm going to just move my little horse icon. I've got a little cowboy riding a horse icon with a glow effect on it, so it stands out against the map in Photoshop here. So I just moved him. If you're following along, if you happen to be on this map right now, I started in 1816 and I just moved to 1815, 1 hex up. After you have moved your token into the new hex, roll for a random event using the event table, which is table A on the table sheet, under the column based on your current bounty suit. Oh, wonderful. That's me saying, oh, wonderful, not the book. To determine the event you encounter. Turn to that event in the event booklet. All right, so let me go over there. And let's see here. Actually, I need D100 now. Well, I might not immediately, but I'm going to pull out my old D100 bullet die, which is really cool. The D100 bullet die only does 10s, so I would need to roll that with a 10-sided die, I imagine, to get the 1's result. It's not a 100-sided bullet. It's a 10-sided bullet with values from 10 to 00 for 100. All right, so we're going to roll on our event table. Our suit for bounties is moderate. Let me double check that. Yep, we're diamonds, so we are moderate. Okay, so let's roll the 100. That is a 30. Let me roll the 10-sided. That is a 2, so 32. I've got 2 little highlights that I can move to mark this easily. So we are going to E107. I wonder if that has a hyperlink on it. It does not. That's okay. I can go to the event booklet here really quick. E107 is abode. You have come upon an isolated home. Roll a D10. You're dead. No, I'm kidding. It could be something like that. Who knows? All right. A 8. An old miner lives here and tells you about a deserted mine. Roll a D6. Okay. To determine the direction of the mine. 3. 3 is southeast. And then roll D6 to determine how many hexes away. 4. So do I even have that much distance on my map here? I do not. So in the case where a point of interest falls outside of the map, the rules say it does not exist. So I could futz a little bit here and change it to where I put it at the very edge if I want to. That's not in the rules. That's against the rule spirit. I should be very clear. I'm just up of mind to do that, but I'm not going to because A, don't want to break the rules, and B, because it's off in the different direction from where the town is. It's actually almost totally in the opposite direction of the town. So I have no desire to pursue that. So I'm not going to record this as a point of interest because of that. So let's go back and begin our next day. So that was 1 day. Now we're going to move again, beginning day 2. I wonder if I should track how many days this takes. I don't think so. So there's no limit. There's no time limit to it, which is interesting. Just checking how far I am along time-wise here. Okay, so in Barbarian Prince, I believe you have a certain number of days you're limited to, and there's nothing like that here. So that's good. But I imagine it would be pretty boring to just travel in circles all day waiting for something big to happen. So let's move again for day 2. I guess I'll go north to 1814. And now the town is just to my northwest. Now that we've done that, let's go to the random table here and see what we get. I'm going to just roll both of these dice together, the D10 and the D100. 82 this time. So lining those 2 up means E113. Medicine Man. If you are not on a marshland hex, go to E107. I am on a marshland hex, so I can't do that. Medicine Man is passing through. Roll 1d6. Okay. A 6. You share your camp with him, and he gives you D4 balms before leaving. Oh, how nice. Each balm can be used as a one-time healing action, which is R101C. So if I need to heal, I can go to that. I'll make a note of that. Record the balms under your equipment. Okay, so let's roll and see how many. 1. Well, 1 is more than we had, I suppose. So let me take care of that. Okay, 1 balm, R101C for the paragraph reference, and we are good to go. So that was better than worst case, I guess. Could have been much worse. Could have been much better, I suppose. I think I'm doing pretty well so far. I've survived 2 days and not died yet. Let's see. I want to find the index. There's an index of events here, and it is on page 14. It's on page 14 of the intro, so XIV or Roman numerals for 14. Okay. Just my side to make sure I'm good there. Okay, so now that I'm thinking about it, this is actually kind of something I'm hesitant to do, going to town with a bounty suit of moderate. This might be a bad idea. This might be a short game, but we're going to do it anyway because we want to make this interesting. So I'm going to move my guy into this town, which is in hex 1713, if you're following along on the map. And now that I am in that town, let me see here. Enter town is a special event that I need to go to. Enter town. This action is only available when you are on a hex with a town. Roll a d6 to determine the available or open places in town that day, and then choose which location to visit. So my luck, it'll be barely anything open. Let's see. 5 is, oh, okay, well, 5 means I can go to a saloon, shops, sheriff's office, or train station. So the train station is only open if a rail line runs through town, and there is not one, so that's not an option anyway. I assume, well, there's a train line, I should say, that runs kind of zigzags through the center of the map and runs through 2 towns there, so I assume that's just a quick way to get from one point to the other. I should describe the map just in general. So it's kind of a rectangular shape, long sides, short bottom and top, a lot of mountains to the northwest, a lot of woods kind of just below that. The swampy marsh area is kind of to the east. There's a lot of plains kind of to the center and west, and then desert to the south. There are 4 towns on the map. One is up north, one is kind of in the middle, one's in the south in the desert, and the one that I'm in right now, which is in the marshland. Okay, so we can't do the train station. I think the sheriff's office is probably a very bad idea. I'm tempted to do that just to do it. Or shops. I've got $2 whole freaking dollars. I don't know if I can actually buy anything that'd be useful. I think I'll just hold on to my $2 for now. A saloon would be an option, but I assume that's going to be somewhere that is going to cause trouble. All right, I'm thinking too much through this. Let's go. I'm not doing the sheriff's office. That's tempting fate too much. Let's go to the saloon. All right, so saloon, roll a d10. Let's see here. A 10. Uh-oh. Usually that's either really good or really bad. So E220, Lady of the Night. You share an enchanted evening with a fun-loving lady. Oh, great. There goes all my money, I guess. Where's roll a d6? Okay. 5. She tells you she has had enough of this town. She is going to live on her family farm and invites you to visit one day. Roll a d6 to determine the direction of this farm. Okay. 1, north. Okay, and then roll another d6 to determine how many hexes it is away. 2 hexes away. Okay. Well, she doesn't live that far away. Let me put a little mark on the map here so I am reminded by that, and then I'm going to put this text into Photoshop. It's helpful. It says hex number farm E178. So if I go to that hex, I get to do E178, I suppose. Let me go to my character sheet and do that. Okay. What else does it say? And then roll a d6 to... Oh, I already did that. Record and under your points of interest, which I've already recorded. Okay. All right. Well, we're done there. Now what? Do I want to stay in town? This is like day 4, I guess. Or do I want to go ahead and head to the farm? I guess I'll head to the farm and see what's up there. It's not really clear on if she is going with me or not. She's going to live with her family and invites you to visit one day. So it just says she invites you to visit. It doesn't say she's actually coming with you, which would be more interesting as a companion, I would think. But very interesting, almost Firefly-esque, having an escort with you, if you're familiar with that series. Well, let's just go ahead and go north, I guess. Let's try that. Let's go ahead and travel to that farm. It's only 2 hexes away. It's not like it's that far. I can always come back to this town, I guess, if I need a good time. Or find a sheriff's office, which I'm tempted to do next time just to see what happens. Let's see. All right, so I moved north to 1712. We are 1 hex away from the farm. We now need to do a random event check. So let me roll for that. Roll my 2 bullet dice. That is a 79. So I only have to move it up 1. So we're going to E045. Outpost. You stop at a trading post or some respite. Roll a D10. Okay. 7. The owner asks for your help. An accountant in town has swindled their profits. The owner wants you to, quote unquote, persuade the accountant to return what he stole. You will be rewarded $20 on completion. That's a good chunk of change compared to what I have. Record X number any town accountant under points of interest. Okay, so I guess that means I'll go to my, whoops, where's my character sheet? There he is. Let me make a new point of interest here. Let me paste that in there. And that is the event number. Okay, so I guess that's it. So $20. I'll remember $20. I don't know if I got to record that or not. I guess we'll see. So, hey, we got something to do now in the town if I go back. Go visit a cheating, swindling, low-down varmint accountant. So I'm going to move another point of interest to the town there so I am reminded of that just in case I go off on a wild goose chase once I get to this farm. All right, so we will go to the farm now. And I guess, one thing I wasn't sure of, do I need to do a event check? I did say... and it's rather clear that you have to do an event check. Okay, when in a hex that has a point of interest, which I am in, you may perform a point of interest action. This action is only available when on a hex that has been identified as a point of interest. Any points of interest you discover, you will have recorded under points of interest. Yeah. Any events with a point of interest will provide a hex number and the event number. Okay, so it counts as an event. So let's see. That is E178. Just because I'm paranoid, I'm going to copy that just to be sure I go to the right one here, and I'm going to do a find on it. There we go. Farm. You arrive at the girl's family farm. Roll a D10. 6. You inquire about work on the girl's family farm. Attempt a hunch skill test. Table C. All right, so let's look that up. It's a heart test, which is high. That's not good. Hunch 2. Okay, let's read about skill tests. This will be our first one. There may be times when you'll be asked to attempt a skill test. Either that the event will provide a table to roll on, or you would be directed to one of the tables on the table sheet. The event paragraph will always specify which table, difficulty suit, and skill to use, finesse, hunch, or karma. If the skill test is not on the table sheet, the event will walk you through the process. All skill checks will direct you to one of the tables on the table sheet and will be presented in brackets as follows. On and on it goes. All right. Okay, so the way I'm reading this doesn't look like it's going to be easy to pass this. Okay, so high difficulty suit. I am rolling my D10 and then I'm going to add my hunch skill, which is a 3, I believe. Yes, so I will roll... add 3 and then subtract 2. So I'm actually only adding 1 because it says hunch minus 2 here. Okay. So there's a pass or fail here. I don't want to read that. I kind of glanced at it. I don't want to see anymore until I see if I pass or fail this. So I need to roll high. Pass on a hard difficulty suit is a 6 or higher. So I need to roll and get a +1. So I need a 5 or higher on my die roll. That's not too bad, but still. A 7. Okay, good. 7 plus 1 is 8. That is pass. Let's go to pass. They keep you around to help on the farm. You are paid $3. Roll this hunch skill test again. Okay. I got $3. I have $3 whole dollars. All right. Let's change my money to 5. Cha-ching. Boy, this is going to be a long time if I have to keep going through this. I guess I'll roll again. So what did I say? A 5 or higher. So I need to roll, 5 or higher to pass. I guess I'm doing this every day until a 10. Another pass. So that's another $3, I guess. Until I fail, which I'm not going to read until I get to that point. 7. Another pass. So that's $11. I'm getting the money. I'm feeling better about it. Maybe I can go visit a shop when I go back to town if I don't get busted. So 6. Wow. There we go again. Another $3. 1, 2, 3. We're at 14 now. Roll again. 2. Okay, we failed. That's a fail. The father catches you fraternizing with the girl and chases you off the property with a shotgun. Roll to determine if you take any damage on table B. Heart suit. All right. Great. My first attack, I guess, but I'm not attacking him back, so I'm just taking a shot. Weapon suit. Table B. A heart. That's not good. Let's see how this works. Okay. I was seeing that there's an event listed after the fail, so that'll make sense. Okay, I just read through it and I'm like, oh, that doesn't make sense, but it actually does. So I'll get to that point. Let me go back to the event paragraph so I'm not missing anything. Event paragraph. Let's roll for an attack on table B to see if we take that damage. Let's see. Oh boy, gotta roll low. A 3. That's a miss. Okay, so there's no modifiers. 3, less than a 2 is a miss. A 2 is a miss. Actually, less than a 2 is a miss and immediately counter for the bad guy to take a light wound, but that didn't happen, and it's kind of consequence anyway because I'm not fighting the father. 2 is a miss, and a 3 to a 4 is a miss, so I rolled a 3. Oh, thank goodness. All right, we don't want to start so early taking damage. All right, so then the event that I was concerned with is a fatigued horse event. Your horse is fatigued and needs to rest. So I'm guessing that's because I was running like crazy to get away from that farm and that crazy father and that crazy daughter too. They did give me money though. I can't complain too much. So that's a good thing. All right. So roll a D6. Let's roll high, maybe 5 plus 1 karma. It quickly passes. Okay, cool. So I get 1 more karma. I'm at a 3 in karma now. That's good. And we are back on the map. All right, so let me get rid of that point of interest. It is gone. Let me go to my character sheet. So what are we going to do on the map? I've got to go back to town because I want to get that accountant. So let's go south. And now let's roll on the encounter table. Let me roll my 20 and my 10 and my 100. That is a 108, actually, but I don't think that counts. I'm going to have to go to 100. Oh, boy. Uh-oh. Is 100? Yep, 100 is a standalone event, so that's 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, and 100 are all standalone events instead of a range of 2. So this might end the game really quick. Let's see what it is. Town. Oh, okay. Town recollection. Town recollection. You recall the location of a town. Roll 1d6. Okay. 6. Recollection. Place a town on any hex of your choosing. Mark the map board to indicate this. The town is always in this hex and can be visited for the rest of the game. All right. Well, I don't know what an advantage that is, though. Maybe I can put a town along the rail line. You know what? I'm going to copy here in Photoshop. I'm just going to take a layer via copy attempt here, and then I'm going to plop this thing over here on top of this railroad, which is in hex 1411. It's easternmost zig or zag, whatever you want to call it, into the marshlands, and then it goes west again. I'll just put a town there. That'll be a good little side place, I guess. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it once to the southwest in the woods hex. All right, there we go. All right, so now we're going into town, and we are going to look at our events here for the town. Now, the action I'm going to take is to interact with. The point of interest is this event number. I keep going back and forth between mentioning the event numbers and not mentioning them. I'm just kind of not sure if I should give them away, but you're listening to this. You might want to give the game a try yourself. I don't want to have any spoilers in that regard. Accountant. You have located the hotel where the accountant is taking a residence. Roll a D10. He tells you that he could give you information far more valuable than what you are being offered by the outpost owner. If you accept the information, you let him go to this event. If you decide to side with the outpost owner, go to this other event. Well, I guess this is one of those moments where you decide you got a white hat on or you got a black hat on. Are you a bad guy or you a good guy? Old West style is what I'm talking. So that's a really good question. Do I want to be a jerk and sell him out? Yeah, why not? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's go to this event. Information. Let's roll a d6. He hands you an old map and leaves. New event. All right, let's go to that. Treasure map. Treasure map. Treasure map. All right, let's roll d6 here. The treasure is hidden in an ancient tomb. Roll d6 to determine the hex of the tomb. Oh boy, this is good. This might be really far away. 4 is in 5-6. Wow, that's far away. 5-6 is a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 hexes away in the mountains to the northwest. That's away, it's away, but hey, you know, it might be worth something. So let's go ahead and copy this down into my result. That is hex, what did I say, 5, 6. Yep. I guess I won't be getting my $20. Hopefully whatever this is worth more than $20. So we're done there. And I'll get rid of this point of interest now. Okay, so we're still in the town, starting a new day. I think I'm going to interact with the town. Here we go, enter town. All right, let's roll a die and see what is open on this day. 6, everything is open today. Good, because I want to go to the shops. Let's see what they have. I know we're supposed to get $300, but maybe the tomb will help. I have $14. If I'm going that far away, I'm going to need to stock up, I think. I have no idea how the shop works. I've never been to one. I've not read that rule book or rule paragraph, so let's see what we're in for. Shops. You peruse the town's market area. Roll a d6. The result is 4, shop. If you wish to rob the shop, roll a d4. Oh, I didn't need to know that option existed. If you wish to browse the shop, if you wish to meander around town. I'm not robbing the shop. I don't need to draw that much more heat to myself. I've already got a pretty decent high wanted level. I want to keep a low profile. So let me browse the shop. That's the whole point of coming here in the first place, is to spend money, not steal it. Right, roll a d6. Let's hope to roll high. 6. You browse the available wares. You can purchase any number of the following items once. A knife for $1, which is a club suit. Let's look at my character sheet here. Again, actually, yeah, club is low. Well, it's just above X, which is fist. So a knife is just 1 better than fist, but 1 worse than the gun. Rifle for $3. That's a heart. If you purchase this item, recorded under your weapons. I'm very tempted by that. Then there's dynamite, which is a club level, which is the most dangerous one, I believe. Yep. If you purchase this item, recorded under your weapons. And then $1 each for D4 balms. So I can buy a rifle once. I will buy a rifle. I am buying a rifle. That is going to be a heart suit. That is good to have. That's going to be $3 less, so I'm down to 11. I'll go ahead and buy some dynamite too, I think. So I'm down to $8 now. And that is all the weapons I can have, I believe. Just 1 stick. Might come in handy, you never know, especially going to a tomb. Might need to blow something up. Might cave myself in and be buried forever. And then balms. D4 balms. Each balm can be used 1 time. So I have the 1 balm, but it might be a good idea to get another balm. So let me roll my D4 and see how many are available. There's 2. I'll go and buy them both. So now we're at, let's see, where's my balms? There we go. So that's 3 balms now. I had the 1 before from the shaman, and now I have, or the medicine man, I have 2 more for 3. Okay. Well, that went pretty well. I am at $6 now, but I have fists, and I have actually 1 weapon for every level except for the club. I have a pistol for diamond suit, a rifle for a heart suit, and dynamite for the max suit, which is clubs. I have 3 balms. I have the tomb point of interest. Wow, that's pretty cool. So it looks like I'm going to go ahead and head out. I'm trying to see what the time is. I want to make sure I keep this at about an hour, but I guess it doesn't matter if I just keep playing. So let's Go straight northwest. If I keep going straight northwest, I'll run into that town that I created. So let's try a few of these just to see what happens and see if my luck holds out. So we'll move one space here. And now let's go to the encounter table. Now, one thing I do remember about Barbarian Prince is it did that the terrain determined what the encounter tables were that you rolled on. This doesn't seem to care. So that's kind of an interesting point. Let me roll on here and see where we're at. 24. That is E229. Recollection Town, another one. Wow, okay. Let me roll my D6 and see if this other town that I recollect happened to just appear out of nowhere. A 1. After further reflection, you are mistaken. Should probably lay off the spirits. Roll on the event table, table A. So I get to roll again on table A. Oh, there's a town or... nah, I'm wrong. Oops. Oh, well. Lay off the spirits. I haven't drank anything. There's nothing to drink, I don't think. Maybe it's just baked into the system that I'm drinking a lot. I don't know. All right. 104. Again, that's another recollection. I'm going to re-roll that. 58. So we'll go with that. Trapper. You meet a trapper. Roll 1d6. 2. He ignores you, but later you encounter frenzied bandits. All right. We're getting into a fight, it looks like. So we have 3 bandits. One has finesse 3, one has finesse 2, one has finesse 1. They all have knives, and one has a loot suit of clubs, which is table D1 plus another event. So this might be worth it. Oh, and if I win the combat, bounty suit goes down by 1. That might not be a bad thing. All right, so table C, diamond, hunch -1. Okay, just to make it easier, I was trying to figure out how to do this. So there's 2 sheets added. There's one where you have up to 3 partners, and then one where you have, one where you have up to 3 partners and 2 opponents, and then there's another sheet where you have opponents 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'm just putting markers on opponent 2 different ones, to make sure I can keep them all straight in one place. Okay, so let's see how combat works. Combat takes place in rounds. A full round of combat is where every character has attacked. You, partners, and opponents all use the same combat table, table B, for their attack. I thought that said C, though. Well, anyway, table B. You can use any of your weapons during combat unless stated otherwise in the event, which it did not, so I'll be using my rifle. I'm glad about it. There will be a rule to refer to in the event to determine who attacks first, and oh yeah, that's something I wanted to make sure I did, which I missed. Hold on. Okay, yep, I wanted to go back to this. I found it. I wanted to make sure I did not miss it. I want to make sure I write this reward down just in case I'm lucky enough to live, and the event table result that occurs. So I want to make sure that we are not losing that event table if I win. And then, oh yeah, let me write that. Whoops, let me make that other note as well. It's -1 bounty. Okay. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure we are all on keeping track of everything correctly and I don't mess anything up. Okay, so let's go back to that paragraph that described combat. The formula for all attacks, regardless of the weapon, is as follows. Attacker's current finesse skill minus opponent's current finesse skill equals attacker's roll adjustment. After the roll adjustment is determined, roll a d10 under the attacker's weapon suit. And on the combat table, table B, adding or subtracting the attacker's roll adjustment to determine any wound level. If in combat against multiple opponents, you may attack any of them in any order you wish. Multiple opponents attack you in the order they are presented in the event. And it is up to you if they are attacking you or a partner. Well, I'm the only one, so they're going to be attacking me. So let's look at combat initiative. That is a hunch skill test. Pass, you attack first. Fail, the opponent's attack first. Wait, initiative. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys. I keep messing this up. So this is the initiative test. This is not the combat test. It is table B for the combat. I'll get it straight. This is the first time I've played through this, so please bear with me. Let me find it again. Okay, here we go. Let's go find our initiative. So I'm rolling under moderate, which is a diamond. I have a hunch of 3, but it's -1 for a 2, so I get a +2 to the roll. I roll from my D10. And it is a 10, so pass big time. All right, we are going to hopefully blow away this first guy. It says to attack in any of them. They attack in the order that they are presented, so I think it's in my best interest to attack the one with a finesse of 3 first to take him out, hopefully. We'll see if we can do that. So let's go to the combat table now. My weapon suit is... I can actually throw the dynamite. It doesn't say anything about dynamite being multi-character. Like if I threw the dynamite, I could attack all 3 of them at once. I don't see that noted in there. Maybe I missed something, but I'm going to have to pretend like that's not the case. So I'll use my rifle, which is a high. Weapon suit, I need to roll very high, actually, to try to take him out. I can't actually kill him, but I need to roll really well. And I don't think that's going to happen. Well, it might. So... when we look at combat, we look at my finesse, which is a 4 currently because I have no wounds. My bad guys is a 3, so that's 3 minus 4, so I have a 1, so I get a +1 to the roll. So technically, if I roll a 10, I could take them out right away. Watch me roll a 1. A 6 plus 1 is a 7. That is a moderate wound, so let's go to that table. Whoops. He's down to a moderate wound, so he's now down to a finesse of 2. I'm going to make that note here. All right, now they attack. He's going first. He has a finesse of 2. I have a finesse of 4, sorry. So he gets a -2 to his roll, so he could miss me, and he's attacking with a knife, so that's a low weapon suit. So I need to, if I roll a 6 or lower on the 10-sided, he won't miss. And that's actually the case for just him. 6 or lower for him. The other 2 have lower finesses. One has a 2 and one has a 1, I believe. Yeah, oh, okay, so let me just roll. So this one hits me on a 7 or higher. That's a 3, that's a miss. The second one attacks. He misses me as well. And then the third one has a finesse of 1, so he's going to have even more of a penalty. He needs to roll a 8 or higher. A 6, so that's good. If I rolled the 6 for the other 2, he would have hit me, but this one has a 1. So he misses. All 3 of them miss. It is now my turn again, or do we go back to initiative again? I assume this is a back and forth thing. Combat takes place in rounds of full round of combat where every character has attacked. There we roll. Don't see anything about having to do initiative every time. So, okay, we'll just keep playing it like this then. It's my turn now. I need to go ahead and take out that first guy. I'm going to shoot him again. Hopefully get him. Gotta shoot him. Get him good, I hope. I'm surprised I'm not doing more of that. You're just talking like that. So, his finesse is now 2. Mine is a 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. So I get a +2 now to my roll on high. So, let's roll and see what we get. 4 plus 2 is a 6, so that's another moderate wound, which I believe is a 2-step. So the moderate is worth 2. Whoops, wrong table. Gotta find, where's the guy? There he is. So that's another 2. So he's now down to a debilitating -3. He started with a finesse of 3, I believe. Yeah, he had 3. So he is down to 0 finesse. He is gonna be hurting here. All right, so now it's his turn. He has a 0 finesse, and I have a 4, so he is going to attack me. If he rolls a 10, -4 is 6, so he'll give me a light wound if he rolls a 10. I rolled a 9. He missed. Swish. All right, so he misses. The next guy has a 2 finesse. Mine is 4, so that's a -2 he has. It's a 5 minus 2 is a 3. That's a miss. Barely a miss. And then, 3 or 4 misses. And then the other one was 1. Thank goodness. That's another miss. Actually countered on that one. Attacker immediately takes a light wound. So he misses so badly. He takes a light wound now. And the other one's still not wounded. That light wound is no negative to his finesse, so he is not bothered by that. All right, but now it's my turn again. All right, the guy that is debilitated, he is really not much of a threat. The one with the 2 finesses, so I'm going to go after him now. He's got no wounds whatsoever. Let's see here. Where's the combat table? There we go. Let's shoot him. Yeehaw. He has a finesse of 2, -4, so that's a +2. 4 + 2 is 6. That's another medium wound. He takes a medium wound, so he now takes a -1 to his finesse. -1 to his finesse. All right, so go back into the first one. He's got a debilitating wound. He has a 0 finesse. Let's see what he does. He rolls a 5. -4 is a 1. He misses. The other one is a 1 finesse now. So -3 to his roll. 2 -3 is a total miss, and I get to counter him with a light wound. Ha ha. Ha ha. Quote Nelson. So he's now down to a -2. He has a heavy wound. And the last guy, he rolls a 2. He totally misses me. Oh, this is going well for me. So far, so good anyway. All right, so 2 of them are at a 0 finesse. 1 is at a 1 finesse. I feel better about this encounter now. I was a little worried at first getting into this, but combat has actually been on my side. The rolls have been on my side, obviously. I'll go after the guy with a 1 finesse, because he's the only one who can really has a decent chance of getting me. Well, not decent, but better than the other 2 anyway. Let's go after him. 3 plus, well, let's see, his finesse is 1. Mine's a 3. Or 4 rather, so that's a +3. +3 is 6, so that's another medium wound. So we're doing it, I guess. Slowly but surely, a medium wound would be. So he's down to a heavy wound now. He's got a -1 to his finesse, and they are hurting. And I just, I think that there might be a chance where they go, okay, we're done, we're running, we give up, but they just fight to the death, I suppose. That would be a question I would have for the designer on that to see how that works. But apparently, we're going to fight to the death here. So, all right, so let's go back to the first guy. Finesse at 3. -3 for his debilitating wound. He is going to get a -3. 7 -3. That's a 4. That is barely a miss. Yeah, barely a miss. Next one is a finesse of 2, -2, so he's at a 0. -4, so he's a -4. He rolls a 4, he gets a 0, he gets a counter of a light wound, so he goes up to debilitating. And then the last guy is a finesse of 1, -2, so I have a 4 plus that -1, so he's at a -5. 7, that's a 2, down to a miss. So they've not touched me once, and I'm just smoking them. That's good. It almost at this point seems like I'm beating a dead horse. Like I should just go ahead and say, okay, we're done. I fought them, they're dead. I beat them, but I guess there's still a chance they could hurt me, though it's a very slim one. It's slimmer than it was anyway, but I'll keep going here just to finish it off here real quick, and then I'll get back to you so you're not having to listen to me roll constantly. Okay, that's it. They're all dead, every single one of them. I managed to beat them down a little bit and just barely almost got hit a couple of times. Again, rolled a 4, or a net result of 4 a couple of times. They rolled high and missed me because of that big time deficit in the finesse. So there we go. We got a loot suit of club, and then we have a bounty table event. So, well, actually the first thing we're going to do is reduce my bounty from the diamond to the club, from the diamond to the club. The club can't handle me right now. Sorry about that. Terrible. Let's go to the loot chart, which is the club. It's low, but you never know. If I roll high, I might get something decent. 4, I got $1 whole. So whoopee. Well, hey, they're bandits. That's probably why they're trying to rob me. They don't have any money. I go up to $7 from 6, and now we have that event to take care of, which is there. So let's go to that and see what happens. Hideout. You learn the location of a bandit hideout. Roll a d6 to determine the direction of the hideout. A 4, so it is south of me, and then roll d6 to determine how many hexes away. It is 2 hexes away. Is that not in the freaking town? Let's see. Where's my map? Where's my map? There it is. Nope, it's not in the town. Sorry. Okay, so it is 2 hexes south in hex 1615. Wow. Okay. Well, 1615. Let me make a copy of this and add it to my player character sheet. All right. It seems like that might be worth my while to go to as well. If I clear out that nest, I might get my wanted suit down another level. There's a couple of times I almost rolled a encounter with the law in the town, and I think that's where that comes into play. The higher it is, the less chance you have of doing something peaceful. And I'm trying to play good so far, it seems. So we are good here. Okay, so point of interest, got it recorded. Let's look back on our character here. We're pushing about an hour here on this episode, and I want to make sure I don't... Well, it's actually more than that. Sorry. Let's see. We've got a tomb far to the northwest that might be worth seeing. Of course, I'm pretty sure that'll just be random die rolls to see what is in there, but it might be worth it to explore just for the riches. And besides, where else am I going to go? Except wander around in circles. And then there's the hideout, which I think I'll probably go to next. I am well kitted out with weapons. I have a decent amount of money with $7. I'm not wounded. And my bounty's gone down by 1 because I took out those bandits. So I am going to end this here, and we will continue this probably in a new episode later. Not sure when. But overall thoughts, this is a pretty straightforward game. Sorry about the combat. I might have gone a little too long on that, rolling constantly, but it's really easy once you get it down. I was afraid that I wasn't going to keep it straight in my head, but it worked pretty well. I'm very happy. I love how quick it goes, and I love that it seems that it's narrating a story for me, and I was really afraid that I was going to roll into the deadly trouble immediately, which I probably would have had to futz a little bit just for your listening's sake, because it would have been really boring if it was a 5-minute episode. But there are chances, and I did see, like I said, some events that result in death, like instant death. There's nothing you can do. There's no roll, nothing. It's just, you're done. So that would not have been fun, but I'm enjoying myself. This is good narrative. It's a fun time. And I should note that Ken Kennedy has also a sci-fi version of this game called Star Drifter. You can get that in Drive-Thru-RPG also. I should point out you can get a hard copy of this stuff if you want, or you can get it through Drive-Thru-RPG. He was kind enough to send me a hard copy of Star Drifter just because. I told him I'd be happy to review it, but he said no, he's fine with this, so I'm good. I might do a game of that later. And he's working on an adventure version, so I'm assuming that's like a Dungeons and Swords kind of a thing. I don't know too much about it. I have seen his posts on Facebook. So I invite you to join his group over there if you're interested. Go over to Board Game Geek and look it up there, or on Drive-Thru-RPG. I'll put all these links in the description of this episode. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like on the video if you're on YouTube, or just like my post on Facebook, or just send me a note saying you love it and you want more stuff like this. I do enjoy these playthrough videos a lot, and I love giving my thoughts on the game after I play through it. Obviously, it's a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it too. I hope you'll go check it out and support this creator because it's super cheap right now. Actually, let me go to Drive-Thru and check out how much it is. This could, of course, change depending on when you're looking at this, but it is $3.99. $3.99. If you got the actual softcover book, it would be $15.99. You can also, looks like you can get both of them, the PDF plus the softcover standard color book, for $15.99 also. It says it's $19.98 for the PDF plus the book, but it's only $15.99. It's the same as the regular softcover. So you'd get both the PDF and the hardcover book too, or the softcover book, sorry. Physical copy, I should say. So yeah, that's $3.99, man. That's a pretty good price for this much entertainment, and this is just an hour I've played. I'm really excited to keep doing this. So again, sorry, I'm babbling. Thank you for listening. Thank you for checking it out. I will do more of these. Just let me know what you like, and I appreciate you listening as always, and we will see you in the next episode.